Hey, stop touching that. You people have no business being here. This isn't some pawn shop. We serve real customers with real money, not welfare shoppers pretending they can afford diamonds. Derek, the security guard, stormed toward the elegant black couple, Dr. Zara Williams and her husband Jerome, as they browsed engagement rings in the upscale jewelry store. Zara, dressed in a tailored blazer, felt the sting of racism wash over her. She had built a successful medical practice, but in Derek's eyes, she was just another welfare shopper. "Ma'am, put down that ring before you damage something expensive," Derek said, snatching the $50,000 solitaire from Zara's hands. Other customers stared, phones emerging as the atmosphere shifted from luxury shopping to public spectacle. Store manager Ashley Richardson hurried over, immediately siding with Derek. "What seems to be the problem here?" she demanded, her tone indicating she had already decided who the problem was. Derek launched into his performance. "These individuals are handling expensive merchandise without supervision. I caught them examining a $50,000 ring." Ashley's skepticism dripped from her words. "That's quite a significant purchase." Nearby, Maya Parker, a graduate student, recognized the injustice and began recording the incident on Instagram Live. "We've had issues with certain people attempting fraud in jewelry stores," Derek continued, his voice loud enough for other customers to hear. "Credit card theft, identity fraud, you know how they operate." Zara's composure cracked slightly. Jerome stepped protectively closer to her, his jaw clenched. They had faced prejudice before, but this was different. "Sir, ma'am," Ashley addressed them with false politeness. "I'm going to need to see multiple forms of identification and the credit cards you intend to use for any purchase." "Why?" Zara asked, her voice calm. "Has any other customer been asked for multiple forms of identification?" Ashley hesitated, and around them, other shoppers browsed freely without scrutiny. Maya pressed record. "This is insane," she whispered. "They're treating this couple like criminals for shopping while black." An elderly white couple nearby whispered, "They should shop somewhere more appropriate for their budget." The comment hit its target perfectly, emboldening Derek. "Exactly. There are plenty of other establishments that might be more suitable," he said as Zara's phone buzzed with a notification about their company's quarterly revenue report. She silenced it, but Jerome noticed. They exchanged a meaningful glance, a wordless communication perfected over decades of partnership. "Some people just don't understand their place in the world," Derek muttered, his words landing like artillery shells. "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to open your purse for inspection," Derek demanded. "We've had incidents of suspicious individuals concealing items." The accusation of theft hung in the air. Zara stood slowly, her full height impressive. "Are you accusing me of shoplifting?" "I'm saying we need to verify that all merchandise remains accounted for." Derek backpedaled slightly. Jerome pulled out his phone, opening the camera app. "We're documenting this interaction for our protection." "No recording," Derek lunged forward. "That's against store policy." "Show me that policy in writing," Jerome challenged. Ashley intervened. "Sir, we can resolve this easily. We'll verify your ability to make purchases through our credit system." "Based on what assessment?" Zara asked, her voice steady. The question hung unanswered because the honest answer, based on their skin color, couldn't be spoken aloud. The store's overhead announcement crackled. "Attention shoppers. Prestige Jewelers will close at 3 p.m. today for a private corporate event." Ashley's eyes widened. The corporate event, she had forgotten about the ownership transition meeting. "We need this resolved quickly," Ashley whispered urgently to Derek. "Corporate will be here soon for the transition meeting." "Ma'am, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the premises immediately. You're disrupting other customers' shopping experience." Zara and Jerome hadn't raised their voices, but their very presence was labeled disruptive. Maya's live stream exploded to 2,800 viewers. Jerome speed-dialed a number on his phone. "David, it's Jerome. Execute the Sterling Jewelers acquisition immediately. Full purchase effective now." Derek and Ashley exchanged confused glances. "Execute what?" Ashley demanded. Jerome's smile contained no warmth. "Something that's about to change both your lives forever." 2:25 p.m. 35 minutes before board meeting, Mall security officer Marcus Thompson strode through the jewelry store entrance, surveying the scene, recording devices, agitated customers, and a staff clearly out of their depth. "What's the situation here?" Marcus demanded, his hand resting on his radio. Derek launched into a rapid explanation. "We have individuals attempting to handle high-value merchandise without proper verification. They're being non-compliant and possibly fraudulent." Ashley nodded vigorously. "They refuse to provide adequate identification for expensive purchases. We suspect credit card fraud or identity theft." Maya's live stream count exploded. 4,500, 6,200, 8,900 viewers. Comments blurred past. "This is insane. Call the FBI. Sue everyone." Maya adjusted her phone angle to capture the 3 security guards surrounding the couple. "Y'all, this is straight-up harassment. This couple has done absolutely nothing wrong except shop while black." An elderly white woman nearby whispered, "They should shop somewhere more appropriate for their budget." Jerome's hands balled into fists, then consciously relaxed. "Ma'am, sir," Marcus addressed them, "I need you to step away from the merchandise and provide identification to resolve this situation." "Resolve what situation?" Zara asked. "We're customers browsing engagement rings. What requires resolution?" Marcus hesitated, suddenly aware that dozens of phones were recording. Derek seized the moment. They've been acting suspicious since they entered, handling expensive items, asking unusual questions. "What unusual questions?" Jerome challenged quietly. Ashley desperately tried to regain control. "Sir, ma'am, we can expedite this process if you simply cooperate with our security verification procedures." "Show me these procedures in your employee handbook," Zara requested. Silence. No such procedures existed. The mall's overhead announcement crackled again. "Security to Prestige Jewelers, Level 2. Priority response requested." Marcus's radio exploded with chatter. "Unit 7, we're getting calls from news outlets. What's your situation?" "Complicated," Marcus responded weakly. "Dr. Williams?" Robert Sterling's voice returned through the phone. "I'm seeing unusual social media activity related to one of our locations. Is everything all right?" "Robert, your staff at location 127 has provided an excellent case study in institutional racism. We have multiple witnesses, live stream documentation, and federal complaint filings." "Dr. Williams, where did you obtain internal complaint data?" Robert asked. "Due diligence files from our acquisition evaluation," Zara replied. Prestige Luxury Holdings conducted comprehensive operational audits before investing $847 million. Your discrimination problem was flagged as a material business risk. Current stock price impact? Robert asked. Down 23% since the live stream began, David Parker reported. Market capitalization loss approximately $195 million. Zara's tone suggested she was reading weather forecasts. Discrimination became expensive very quickly. Jennifer Martinez attempted damage control. Dr. Williams, we're prepared to implement immediate remedial measures. Another chance? Jerome's laugh contained no humor. How many chances did you give us? Zara stood, her presence commanding. Let me clarify the current situation. Prestige Luxury Holdings now owns Sterling Jewelers completely. We have full operational control, immediate personnel authority, and federal backing for civil rights enforcement. Derek's face went white. What? You really own this place? Zara opened her laptop, displaying financial documents. Prestige Luxury Holdings purchased Sterling Jewelers' parent company for $847 million. The acquisition closed 18 minutes ago. $847 million? Marcus repeated weakly. Jerome pulled out his own business card. Jerome Williams, Chief Investment Officer, Prestige Luxury Holdings. Ashley's desperate mind searched for escape routes. Dr. Williams, ma'am, I sincerely apologize. There's been a terrible misunderstanding. Did he? Zara's voice remained calm. You supported every accusation he made. You demanded our identification. I was just following, Show me that policy in your employee handbook, Zara requested. Silence. No such procedures existed. The mall's overhead system crackled. Security to Prestige Jewelers, Level 2. Priority response requested. Marcus's radio exploded with chatter. Unit 7, we're getting calls from news outlets. What's your situation? Complicated, Marcus responded weakly. Dr. Williams, I should mention that the final acquisition includes immediate operational control. As of today, you have full authority over all personnel decisions. The words hit the staff like physical blows. Derek's legs buckled. Ashley grabbed the counter, her face draining of color. Immediate operational control? Zara repeated thoughtfully. That's excellent timing, Robert. We've identified some personnel issues that require immediate attention. Through the phone, Robert Sterling's voice carried concern. Personnel issues? Should I be worried? You should be prepared for some staffing changes, Zara responded. We'll discuss details at the meeting. She ended the call, addressed the stunned conference room. Ladies and gentlemen, watching this unfold, remember, economic pressure creates change faster than moral appeals. Today, discrimination became too expensive for Sterling Jewelers to ignore. The live stream audience erupted in digital celebration. Justice served in real time, broadcast live, documented permanently. Corporate accountability achieved through strategic power and digital transparency. The revolution continues. Epilogue. A new era of accountability. 8 weeks later, the Sterling Jewelers Corporate Transformation Center buzzed with productive energy. Dr. Kesha Washington, the newly appointed Chief Diversity Officer, presented metrics that would have seemed impossible 3 months earlier. Implementation status report, Dr. Washington announced. Body camera deployment is 100% complete across all 127 locations. Zero discrimination complaints since activation 8 weeks ago. Robert Sterling sat at the head of the table, flanked by a management team whose careers now depended on successful reform execution. The transformation represented more than policy changes. It quantified how dignity directly impacts profitability, customer satisfaction scores. Sterling inquired. Up 67% since comprehensive reform implementation, reported the newly promoted Customer Experience Director, Maria Santos. We've processed 47,000 customer interactions under new protocols. Current satisfaction rating, 4.6 out of 5 stars. Zara's presence had evolved from hostile takeover threat to collaborative partnership architect. Federal investigation status? The Department of Justice completed their comprehensive audit last week. They found substantial improvement in all measured categories. The investigation transitioned from punitive to advisory status. The federal scrutiny, initially terrifying, became Sterling Jewelers' transformation catalyst. DOJ oversight forced systematic changes that improved operations across every measurable metric. Staff bias prevention training completion rate, 100% for all customer-facing roles, Dr. Washington reported. We've identified and corrected unconscious bias patterns in 89% of participants. Zara's Foundation, the Digital Justice Initiative, documented and resolved 1,847 discrimination cases across 23 industries. Their model, documentation, economic pressure, public accountability, proved effective across sectors and demographics. Economic power combined with digital transparency creates permanent change, Zara reflected during her recent keynote at the National Retail Federation. The goal isn't punishment, it's prevention through accountability. As the meeting concluded, the executives exchanged glances filled with a mix of relief and determination. They had witnessed firsthand the power of accountability and the importance of treating every customer with dignity. The revolution had begun, and it was only the beginning.